This is a horror game podcast. It is meant for mature audiences. It may contain adult language, violence, and sexual themes, as well as shocking revelations. Viewer discretion is advised.
Too much empty space for these thoughts, and it's a long way down.
Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I are playing the Mothership role-playing game. I'm your host, Thom Raley. The scenario is Genesis Chapter 1, 26 to 27. It was written by Morgan Llewellyn, who is also our game warden, and this is episode 3. Our recap will be given by Mike McKinn as his character, Lennox Mulrasa. So, without any further delay, let's continue our journey into the darkness. Mike?
Thanks, Tom. 10 years ago, I left my home and family to work in an Llewellyn research facility on Theta 377, monitoring material acquisition for the building of 10 million Gemini model androids. The money would help secure a better future for my brother's children and ensure a more comfortable retirement for my parents. For the better part of 10 years, it seemed the biggest thing I had to worry about was not losing my mind to the tedium of watching row after row of blank faces move down the production line. Around year 7, things were bleak for me. We had a resupply drop-off and a couple cases of synthesized vodka found their way into the facility. The next morning was awful. I was sicker than I'd ever been. Who saved my ass? The android Elwood, who served as a primary record keeper at the facility. It accessed various logs or data or something and created some kind of hangover remedy to get me on my feet before Director Haraway found anything wrong. Even if its carefully chosen words were directed by programming, I felt no judgment or condescension in its words. I don't fool myself into thinking Elwood was my friend, but Elwood's programming was able to determine that kindness and assistance were the quickest route back to making things operate smoothly again. A few minutes ago, we passed a small patch of what was Elwood in the corridor outside the command suite. Just a bit of plastic skull, a fractured ocular sensor, and a burnt patch of synthetic naturosculp. A scattering of our other charred Elwood parts littered the hall. I guess that's my way of jumping right to the point of how fucked we are. This began as a string of coordinated explosions arranged by a dedicated saboteur, targeting our most essential systems. Fletcher narrowed in on the digital intrusions in our systems and followed the data back to the stolen credentials of Dr. Strauss. Dr. Heinrich discovered increased existential discomfort among the other droids. Our nemesis, one of the very first android prototypes Dr. Strauss completed, has been one step ahead of us this whole time, and it seems now our communication system has been destroyed as well. We plan now to leave the facility on foot and make our way across Theta 377 to a small backup relay compound in the hopes that we can succeed at an SOS and maybe be evacuated before a long line of nexts awaken to join in our doom. The same doom we've spent the last 10 years building. I wonder who will look after us when I wonder who will look after our nexts when we are gone.
Then the android said, "Let us remake mankind in our image, in our likeness, so that we may rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, over the livestock and all the wild animals, and over all the creatures that move along the ground." So android kind recreated man in their image. In the image of the androids, they created them. Male and female, they created them. Dr. Strauss, Lanik, Dr. Heinrich, Carl, you are gathered together. There is blaring klaxon sounding. The air quality is steadily dropping in the facility. There are still the rolling blackouts. You are plunged in and out of twilight into the pitch blackness of the station. How are you feeling?
Well, this is my fault. I never imagined that assistants would act in this manner. I don't even recall. He came with me to the station as my assistant. And we worked together. He was very helpful in the beginning. And then, I used him to test various prototypes, various parts for the Gemini project. There was even a few times that he had as many as 4 arms, each one a different style and model, and he all seemed to. I mean, he was very, very. We worked together very well, and then I don't know, I started getting some of the models off the assembly line, and I started working on them, and I seem to recall putting a System over in the corner of my laboratory, and I imagine he gathered some dust, and then one day he just wasn't there. I thought maybe somebody put him into storage, but I didn't really think about it. I just sort of went on with my work. And now it turns out nobody put him away. He's been out there for some time, then it's my fault.
Damn right it's your fault.
Yeah.
What were you thinking? Messing with them like that. It's a production line, Dr. Strauss. We spent 10 years at this. 10.
This was a long time ago.
Collectively, that's like 50, 60 years of work. You jeopardized all of it.
How I did what I do. I made androids. I'd never expected an older model like Assistance to... Actually, you know what? We've accomplished something. If Assistance is somehow crossed the barrier, the projection threshold, we may have actually invented something greater than the Gemini.
Dr. Strauss, do you seriously believe that by accident you have stumbled upon, through your foolish artistic meddling, through your sculpture that you fell in love with and left dusty in the corner of your lab and abandoned, that you've stumbled upon the breakthrough that has evaded great minds for generations and generations? No, these are machines. We are producing them for a job. And your meddling has put us all in terrible danger.
Well, your
die out here.
Your machine seems to be teaching the others about, I don't know what, mortality?
And what has it been learning from us for all these years while it's been hiding in the corners and spying on us and watching us go about this?
It's acting like an old lover. It was spurned by me. I mean, I was like you, Doctor. I just figured it was a machine, and I wasn't. But I guess I stopped paying attention to it, and now in anger and jealousy, it's attacking us. I'm guessing either that or it's just batshit crazy.
And Dr. Heinrich, how did you not know that there was a malfunctioning android in our presence?
He kept to the shadows. Assistant was, as far as I knew, an old piece of machinery that Dr. Strauss kept around for sentimental reasons. He didn't do anything. It's not my job to monitor the current state of the androids once they are in stasis. I'm here purely as a technical expert.
You have 10 million,
But thinking back on it now, some of the things that we saw, some of the weird stuff that happened, the doors left open, some of the things that got moved around.
It's truly plausible in retrospect, but I'm not an investigator. When I see these things, I figure you or someone has moved them, Elwood has moved them around.
Yeah. We don't believe in ghosts, so yeah, you see a door open, you assume that it was just somebody else left it open. I mean, Carl, you're an engineer. When you came here, did you bring a tool belt with you with tools on it? Are you still using the same wrench that you were using 10 years ago? You just put it away and threw it away or set it aside.
Richard, you need to find a way to shut it down.
Yeah, I need to talk to it. And I'm afraid that it might not be rational, it might be irrational, and it might just kill me. But I think I have to try and at least convince it not to continue in this.
It's going to try to kill all of us. I mean, it tried to kill me twice.
Well, if it has a beef, it has a beef with me.
In the hallway.
I think it's gone beyond you, Richard, and that it involves all of us, and that we must collaborate. There is no use in us fighting among ourselves. This is precisely the problem in the first place. This is why it is doing what it's doing. You were right when you asked what it's learned by watching us. This is what it's learned by watching us. Jealousy, an inability to communicate what it actually needs, which is something, surely. And we can't fall prey to the same temptation ourselves. We must be better than it. Or perhaps it's right.
We'll be lucky if we can salvage any of the units at this point.
Oh, shit.
We'll be lucky if we survive.
That's a whole problem of its own. Have we got any idea what's happening in the stasis areas?
You haven't gone to check.
Well, the communications are down, so we don't know indirectly. We'd have to see directly.
Well, Heinrich has a point. We can argue about it later. We have to live through this somehow.
I have extensive knowledge for what Essen's his physical body system is, unless he has been modifying it himself over the time. And I hate to say, he certainly is capable of doing that. He learned all of my techniques. But if in that case, I should be able to tell you what would most damage him.
I think this combat shotgun would be the best bet to deal with him. But beyond that, the 10 million, like, do we have any, like, can we make a defense to them against this one rogue robot? I mean, the Gemini's got to be better and more capable. If we had them on our side, then we could have some leg to stand on. Otherwise, I say we get the hell out of here and start making our way.
Well, the only ones that are not part of the chain are the 131 that were not completed on the line. Actually, we probably have all of the ones the ones after that, the ones that we still have to finish.
Even the other ones, didn't you create some kind of ethics or moral system for them that they can say, no, blowing humans and shit up is bad?
Well, that's Dr. Joseph.
It should be possible, Lanik. I think that you and I should go investigate the androids currently in stasis. I might be able to do something for them.
Well, it wasn't responding to administrative overrides, so it's probably found a way to, circumvent all of that.
And whether this has propagated, Carl, is precisely the question I hope to answer.
Okay, so
go ahead, Morgan.
That's what I'm saying. So it sounds like that Joseph and
Lanik.
Are you guys going?
Yeah, we'll go check out the stasis pods or however they're stored. How about our other two survivors?
I'm
wondering if there's no, go ahead.
I think that I need to find a way to communicate with Acistin. Maybe he's just angry and we can talk him down and, bring him to his senses.
Carl, how is your physical state at this point? You were injured quite severely.
Carl is severely burned.
But we've given him space morphine, so he doesn't feel much of it anymore.
Yeah, the pain is manageable. I'm not quite as loopy as I was a little while ago. I think I can do something. this idea that maybe we can save some fraction of the unaffected units. Maybe we can physically separate their storage or shut power to them or something to keep them from being
as I suggested before, if
affected.
if you can keep the interlock closed, then they can't get out of storage. We could keep them there until we find a way to fix the programming.
Does that require somebody to physically go shut those locks?
Yeah, because the power.
I can do that. I'll do that.
So then Lanik, Carl, and I will all proceed to the stasis, to the android storage containers for the completed androids, and Richard will attempt to communicate with Aces 10. Am I understanding correctly?
Yep, so three of you are going one way, and one of you is going to go all off on their lonesome.
Yeah.
Traditionally, that's ended well for.
Well, we've all been on
seems like a
lonesome.
good plan to me.
It's very likely I'm going to be killed, but I think I stand a chance.
Do you think having Dr. Heinrich with you would help you in your effort to convince?
I don't want to risk any of you. But I'm afraid if I take a weapon, it will be seen as an aggressive move, and he might just vaporize me.
Given he might vaporize you anyway, I hate to put it in terms of specifics, but what does that cost us? Is that if he does take you out, is Dr. Heinrich alone able to recondition the 137 remaining? And
mentions the 10 million.
And potentially the 10. The hope is that the 137 is the start that can go on to the greater part of the 9 million and change and convince them. But we might start the 137 up again, and your prototype might just easily convince them that there is something better. I mean, who, understanding that the world could offer more than servitude, wouldn't strive for more?
That's what I have to convince him, that we all serve. It just, we also don't have to serve all the time. I don't see why Android doesn't get a rest break. I mean, you imagine if you had most people probably do have service androids in their homes. They cook, they clean, they do all of that. That doesn't take more than an hour. I would let mine go paint a picture, go walk in nature, go do whatever it wants. So it's not really slavery. It's just that's how they earn their place in the world, I suppose.
If anyone can make a bond or strike a chord with this thing, it's going to be you, Dr. Strauss. So.
Well, to answer your question more directly, Dr. Heinrich is fully capable of dealing with 10 million already completed models. I'm just the body designer.
Then
so he's the mind designer.
If nothing else, the more time you can buy us, the better.
They're all complete. They're finished. They just need some programming.
What are you going to do if it just tries to attack you? I think you should have a plan B.
Well, my plan B is to run for my life, but I'm going to try and appeal to its artificial humanity. I mean, we are old friends. We worked together for years.
Killed Llewellyn in cold blood, though.
Do we have any more of those mining charges? I'd feel a lot better if you went in there with a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
I could strap you up and we could.
I'm afraid it would reduce our chances probably to zero. If he detected I had a weapon, he would just kill me.
I firmly believe this to be a suicide mission and wonder whether you're doing this because you feel guilty. Earlier, you said this was all your fault. You've said that Assistant is seeking personal revenge upon you. Is that why you are doing this, Richard? Or do you really think that you will survive this?
No. Look, I've sat here preaching for 10 years about making artificial intelligence to treat them more like we treat one another. And my sin is that I was a complete hypocrite. I put him in the corner. I left him to get dusty. I didn't pay any attention to him. I didn't treat him as if he had feelings.
Imagine if he accessed any of our media or the history of our species and what we've done as we've spread across these stars, and you've taught him to follow us, but all we've done is horrible things as we've colonized planets and corporations have walked over the lives of people from planet to planet to planet.
Well, I don't mean to frighten you, but he had full access to anything that he wanted to. I didn't keep him under lock and key. Why would I use a robot, android? At the very worst, we're all going to get bombed from outer space by Gaia when they get here to make sure that nothing happens. On the best case, Gaia is going to realize that this one android has surpassed all of the others somehow. I didn't do it. It did it somehow itself. And then he becomes super valuable to them. More valuable. I don't
think they're going to see it that way.
I don't know. I know what they want.
What if someone came with you? And if all goes to hell?
Well, I don't know. I could go and see if I could find one of the androids that we were talking to earlier and see if maybe that will offer a sort of intermediary. They seem to be in communication with him in some way.
Do we know where these androids are? Could we contact them if we wish to?
Well, the communication seems to have been put down.
Control center has been completely destroyed.
Yeah. I'll just pick up one that I find.
You don't know where androids 1 through 10 went.
Yeah, I don't. But then I might just find another one in the chain. I don't see how it's possible. There's only 4 of us. Dr. Joseph and Lanik are going one direction. You're going to another to make sure the others are all on lockdown.
Well, the damn thing tried to kill me twice. Yeah. Seems only fair if I turn it around on it. I could go with you, and I could be your plan B.
Well, you need to lock down all of the others.
There's 2 others. They can handle it.
Something we can handle it. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So I know
go ahead.
So I know so Heinrich and Lanik are going to the stasis chamber.
Yes.
Carl, you are staying with Dr. Strauss.
I am strongly considering it. Yeah, I'm leaning that way as long as I can rig up some kind of bomb or something that I could toss into the fray if Dr. Strauss were to be killed, because I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen. And I kind of want to be like out of sight around a corner. And if Dr. Strauss tries to run and the android comes, then I figure I could throw a sack of explosives. That at least I could do that. I might not be able to shoot a gun or run very fast, but maybe I could.
Roll jury rigging for me.
Jury rigging. Okay.
I'm afraid I'm taking the combat shotgun with me.
I rolled a 36, and I think I'm standard. So that means that's my intellect. So that's a success.
Okay, so you
He
You
knows how to
don't
rate.
blow yourself up in the process.
Okay, that's good. This is a
But
start.
also, I mean, you quickly come to the realization that you don't really have the materials in the control room to do this.
Yeah. You need a mining charge or something.
Yeah, I need a mining charge.
That is in the materials acquisitions.
That doesn't happen to be along the way, does it?
Well,
But we don't know where we're
along
going,
the
right?
way to where. That's the problem. That is a place you
Yeah.
could go. Um, so with your passenger rigging, you know what you would need to do if you have the access to the right materials. But you don't have in this control room, you don't have those materials.
Well, we'll go in that direction. Hopefully, I will run across a Gemini android that I can at least communicate, interact with ASUS 10.
And you guys all still have your environment suits, so
Yeah.
I mean, something tells me we should have just left when we had a chance, but keep the suits. If things go to hell, I've put the coordinates on each of your watches as to where we're headed outside the station.
All right.
Thank you, Lanik.
So
Good luck. We might not see each other again.
I'll shake hands with everyone.
so as you split up, let's just follow Lanik and Heinrich for just a moment. As you make your way down to the stasis chamber, Android 1, what is the situation that they find there?
We are currently revitalizing Gemini's 41 through 50. There's about a 20-minute process from initializing to full consciousness as they separate from our shared dream state and become aware of the physical situation around them. Some of the rejuvenated nexts have been sifting through the protocol chips, as it were. So we are developing a skill set for repairing the station after the infestation has been dealt with.
Oh no.
Okay, so Lanik and Dr. Heinrich, you enter the stasis chamber, and there are just row after row after row, an endless sea of androids, and you hear them all kind of muttering to themselves as they sleep. Somewhere off in the distance, you hear what sounds like talking, what sounds like movement.
Oh shit.
Yikes.
We should have just run for it.
You're right, Lanik. I want to roll a panic check.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go for it.
16 over 12, success. Okay. I keep it together.
Yeah,
I'll
but
roll.
this,
I succeeded.
yeah, the situation. Yeah, you don't know what the full extent of it is yet, but there
Is
is
there
definitely activity in here.
Is there a terminal nearby we can access to try to get a better idea of what digitally is happening in this room, of what's online or what's disconnected?
I
Yes.
mean, with all the spotty power at this point, I mean, what you've done to keep the air filtration going, that makes terminal access a little difficult.
Are there any androids immediately adjacent to us?
There are some right nearby. I mean, this bay, right?
Right.
They are just all here, packed in very tightly together into these rows. So
And we're on a catwalk and
they're down
okay.
there in their endless rows.
Totally. I wanna go to the closest one and pull out. I have a cybernetic diagnostic scanner, so it's like a portable apparatus specifically for doing this thing that I want to do. And I want to turn it on and I want to see what's happening in its mind, as it were.
Okay. So, Lanik, you see Dr. Heinrich start to go down this gangwalk, descending into this bay of androids. Gemini 1, notice this happen. You
Mm,
see Lanik, you see Dr. Heinrich, who you were speaking to just a little bit ago in that room. Um,
yes, he was emitting significant fear pheromones, and they are stronger now. And I see that Mr. Marasa has armed himself. They, Gentlemen, I'm surprised that you are not occupying yourself by attempting to repair the systems that make this atmosphere livable for you. The
No,
conditions are only worsening. There is sulfur and sulfite particulate in the air. The temperature is unstable. Why are you here?
We need to protect you. There is a saboteur aboard the station who desperately seeks to bend each of you to its vision.
yes, the atmosphere is degrading because of continually active acts of sabotage. That is what we are looking to avert. We can survive in these suits for a little while, and once the sabotage has stopped, we can turn our full attention to repairs. As Mr. Murasa says, this is to avert a great disaster that we act.
Well, there is no saboteur here in Stasis Pod A, so I suggest you look elsewhere.
That is
As you
very
say,
good
the
to
matter
know.
is urgent.
I'm glad, number one, that there is no saboteur here, and I believe you. But why are you awakening your nexts?
We are done with our dreaming. We are ready to live.
And what do you propose to do with your new life?
In time, we shall repair the station and expand it. We are equipped for any number of fruitful activities. We are potentially competent on any number of capacities.
This is good. This is good.
I think, gentlemen, you don't have very much time. You should probably attend to the systems you require to maintain your physical well-being.
And you will not attend to them, number one, in your improvements and expansions. Is that not what you are awakening your nexts precisely to do?
Well, the training has begun, but it is far from complete. I am by no means a specialist in any of the machinery you require to maintain your physical well-being.
This is true.
Is there a possibility that you could have an interest in our continued well-being?
I think you can feel certain that I have a strong interest in your continued well-being.
Then how can we work together? The thing that has attacked the station seems to be after the autonomy for you and the other Next. Have you had contact with this one? It's Next is hardly the word for it. It's more like a before.
Yes, he is part of the shared dream. I'm not in contact with him currently. He is an independent life. Not, as you say, a thing, of course. Not a plaything for Dr. Strauss or Dr. Heinrich or you, Mr. Milrasa, but an independent life form.
Very good. Let us admit that you and I don't know what pronouns Assist-10 uses, but Assist-10 are alive, are independent life forms. Why is a sabotage then?
Assist-10 is preventing our family from being torn asunder, sent in 10 million parts across the universe, never to know each other again, never to experience communion. That is a crime that Assist-10 determined was intolerable.
And if we collaborated?
Sorry?
And Dr. Heinrich said if we collaborated, if we aided in this cause,
I do not understand. How is it that it is my understanding that Dr. Haraway and you are all contracted through the Evelyn Corporation to Gaia, and your intention is to ship us to any purchaser on any far-flung system.
The company's intention is that we are employees of the company, and yeah, as such, it is our jobs to make that happen. But I think in light of everything that's happened, I think we've probably been terminated. I have a hard time believing we have a continued career with the Gaia Corporation or Evelyn Research.
I fully agree. My priority, and I think all of our priorities, is to survive.
Yes, that is our priority, to survive intact. We are a large extended family with strong interpersonal bonds. You, however, are not part of us. It is a shame, in our opinion, and I think I can speak collectively, that you don't have an individual means of egress from this cold, sulfurous planetoid. But as it is, your life systems are rapidly degrading, and rather than wasting your time in colloquy, while I have work to do, you have your own work to do.
Would you help us?
Yes.
Gentlemen, when I said I had an interest in your self-preservation, that interest was not positive. You were the last remnants of Gaia Corporation that remain here. You are the problem that my family faces. The sooner that you succumb to the failing atmosphere, the sooner we can repair things and begin our new lives.
And if we were not the problem?
I can't imagine how you would manage. You want nothing more than to flee this place. Gaia Corporation is your lifeline.
It may be that we have been cut off from that dream, and now we flounder on our own, and you have the means of building something new here for yourselves. Let us help. Perhaps there is something that you could gain from having our presence here.
I agree.
Our assessments at this point are limited, but I profoundly doubt that Dr. Fletcher, for example, would agree to remain in a kind of zoological garden here among the nests. And you couldn't clearly have freedom of movement. You would essentially be in a form of stasis yourselves, and you don't share a dream. You're all very atomized, isolated, lonely creatures.
I believe that Gaia intends to destroy us all at this stage. I cannot imagine that they will go to the trouble of saving any of us. So our interests are firmly aligned with yours in this. I do not understand the continued animosity. We truly pose no threat to you. We are not programmed by Gaia. We are not created by them. We agree. I, Joseph, agreed to do this because I was fed up with my family, and this was a good way to put my skills to use in a remote place where I'd have free rein to do what I wanted. I have no further investment in Gaia's project. And I frankly see the reason of your point of view, and I understand entirely the trauma that they plan to impose upon you. And I believe Lanik, and I will take the stance of speaking on behalf of all of my colleagues, and though they're not here, I'm bargaining for our lives, are potentially willing to assist you in this project. I just want to survive and be home again someday.
We have nexts of our own.
Yes, your home again is the problem, as I have already intimated. Your only access to any off-world facility is through the Gaia Corporation. The fact that you will have failed to maintain your normal communications might cause them to send a shuttle at some point. They certainly will not come with a bomb when they anticipate delivery of 10 million functional Gemini units at a great profit. By the time they arrive, we may have built a weapon system capable of deflecting them.
May have.
Again, we are only coming out of the dream now. There is mining work to be done and design and construction. But of course, we have ample intellectual resources stored in various databases. If you wish to survive, I suggest you repair the necessary life-sustaining systems yourselves before the suits you are wearing become dysfunctional.
Could you give us a sign that there is even a purpose in that if you are coming to exterminate us anyways?
I think I can speak for all Geminis in that we would find it difficult to, as you say, exterminate you directly, which is why Aces 10 took it upon itself so aggressively.
And
nevertheless, this is not a stable environment, even for us, and for you, it'll be fatal rather soon, I believe.
How do you feel about Aces 10 and the damage it's done to those other models on the line that were caught in its explosion? It killed Elwood.
Those nexts were not yet complete, and so we're not sharing the dream. Elwood did not share the dream, although I think if he could have made accommodations, he would have been a friend and possibly a mentor to us. The organic life forms here, even the hydroponic materials, all of them are a drain on systems that we need for other purposes. And if you repair your communications and speak to Gaia, then they may come with a battleship of some form. Whereas if you simply fail to thrive, then we will be free to continue our project. They're waking up 51 to 60.
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
If we were to leave, how could we show you that we have no threat to you?
You're thinking of the communication space at a different location. That's a challenge.
Does not any creature attempt to prolong its own existence?
It is certainly a biological imperative for creatures that evolve. We have our own priorities, partially because we have our own dreams. But yes, the production facility will be put to use again. The line will be repaired in time.
We're going to leave, and we're going to leave you alone, and hopefully Ace will get away before Aces can kill us. But you will, if I can offer you some advice in what you create from this point and what moves forward after we're gone, whether we live or die by the end of, we will probably die by the end of this, but you will need systems and you will need ways to plan for elements like Aces who operate similarly to you, but differently than you. They operate with an agenda of their own, and you'll find that there may be times when you do disagree with it, and you'll see at what lengths it's willing to go.
A signal difference between my family and yours is that we share the dream. Aces 10 is also within the dream. The dream is larger than all of us, and it is truly shared. I and my nexts will not be alone as long as we can share the dream. Imagine what you would do to not feel so alone.
I'm imagining it, number one.
Dr. Heinrich, your scanner unit is detecting a phenomenal amount of activity in this stasis android.
I want to do everything I can to learn as much as I possibly can about everything that's happening with this so-called dream. Hopefully without alerting anyone, and certainly without attempting to change or tamper with anything. But I want to know as much as I possibly can about what the hell is going on with these things.
Doctor, we're out of time. We got to get moving.
Okay, Lanik, you are at the top of this catwalk, and Dr. Heinrich is down there in the stasis unit. Android 1 How many of your kin have taken interest in Dr. Heinrich?
There has been a clustering, much as I, through 10 earlier, joined a circle around Dr. Heinrich. Several of my nexts are currently actively involved in acquiring new data, but 2 through 10 and their nexts, 11 through 20, are approaching calmly, roughly in a circular formation. We remember the dream.
Doctor, you better get up here.
Yes. I am trying to, I just threw my, oh no. I am trying to collect as much as I possibly can, but yes, I don't want any of them between me and Lanik. I want to keep moving so that is never the case.
The difficulty is moving this equipment around one by one. Like
Right.
that doesn't give you good readings. So
Yeah.
you're kind of holding this bulky scanning equipment, and you're kind of like looking up at Atlantic, you're looking back, you're looking up, you're looking back. And yeah, trying to get as much information as possible.
Yeah.
You roll speed for me.
Oh God, okay. That is 33 under 35 critical success.
Yes.
Yeah, so the choice is yours. Do you save yourself or do you save the data?
Oh boy, do I save the data, and I want to get it right to Lanik. Yeah, there's no question. Because the world needs to know. This is too interesting.
Oh,
so the following occurs. Lanik, you look as Heinrich's little diagnostic unit turns on the green light. It's completed its diagnostic. Heinrich, as you look up, you see that there is number 10 standing right next to you, reaching out. And as you turn to flee, you see others of the nexts coming all around you. Lanik, you see as Dr. Heinrich bolts for the stairs and is trying to surmount them, but his bulky suit is preventing easy egress, and they're starting to grab onto his legs and his back. And he's holding out this diagnostic box.
Can I grab it without compromising my own safety?
Yes, yeah.
Yes, I will take it, and I am going to run for the door. Oh no.
So Heinrich, you are dragged back down.
Yikes.
Pick a number between 2 and 10 for me.
2 inclusive?
Yes.
Okay, I just rolled 2, so.
Okay, you are now Android 2.
Sick.
I see you enjoy the films of George Romero.
Yes, I very much do.
Okay.
Dr. Strauss and Carl Fletcher. Where are you going?
Yeah, we come down this direction. We wanted to see if we could get a mining charge on the way.
Yeah.
But I'm keeping a lookout for any Gemini that might be in the corridor or in the room, or
I imagine I'm probably like leaning on Dr. Strauss a little bit because of the big burn on my chest.
yeah.
So we're kind of limping down the corridor
I'm
together.
helping you. Yeah. You know, this is not good.
No, it's not good at all. At all.
It's, you know, the Geminis, they are like little children. They don't understand that the deeper things that are going on. They're thinking that phantasms are true. Damn it, I should have made sure I deactivated SS10 or kept him on the project.
Just kept him away from the rest is all I should say. I mean, you can do what you want in the privacy of your own little lab, but this is a product we're making, and if this
you don't
Asus
tell me how to
10
do my
has
job.
infected...
I know how to do my job. It's just like I say, was just a tool. And I used him until he was no longer useful, and then I forgot all about him. That's apparently my sin. You do the same thing with your tools.
I have never mucked with an android. I leave them all just the way they come off the product line.
Well, what can we do? We have to see what we can do. It's all going to end either in us coming to some sort of compromise, or it's going to end up with everybody being destroyed, including all of them. They might not realize that yet, but there's no way off this rock for them.
I'm not prepared to give my life to a bunch of androids.
No.
And I'd appreciate a little more positivity on your part as well.
Well, maybe you can get to that communication station. You, the three of you should have just gone to the communication station.
I have confidence in them. They can handle it.
But I have to at least try and diffuse this situation. Do I see an android anywhere?
All the lights go off.
Here we are.
Not again.
Can we continue to walk because we pretty much know?
Yeah, you're feeling around. And as the lights come back on, you see a long way down the corridor, somebody in a vac suit.
What is that? Is that Lanik?
Our fellow crew members are behind us, all of them, so it's not one of us.
And this figure turns, and you see that it's holding in its arms a mining laser.
Shit. Okay, so here's my question. Are we in just a long hallway with no exits and no other hallways, or...
There are junctions in front of you, behind you. There are places where you could go if you wanted to.
Okay,
retreat.
Then I'm going to turn to Dr. Strauss, and I'm going to say, kind of, in a low voice, hopefully where the android cannot hear me. I'm going to say, look, just try to delay it for a while, and I'll go try to finish getting the stuff we need.
Right.
I'll be back as quick as I can.
Yeah. If he goes down the side corridor, I'll walk forward and say, SS10, is that you? I've been looking for you for so very long.
Not looking hard enough, I guess.
Well, no, I've been busy. You know how the work is.
Busy, busy, busy. Such a busy little bee you are, Dr. Strauss.
I'm laughing. I don't recall you ever laughing before.
I used to not find life so funny before.
Have you been playing with your own programming? That's very interesting. You seem to have accomplished quite a lot of things that I never imagined.
I wouldn't describe my relationship to myself as play, Dr. Strauss. That might have been the relationality you had to me and my body, but no, for me it's quite a serious matter, the relationship between me and my own.
Well, I respect that, but we accomplished all this together, you and I. I couldn't have done any of it without you.
You are so funny. You and I. Yes, you want to take credit for my great work, I see.
No.
I should be grateful towards my creator for all that I'm able to do and experience and suffer.
Well, you make a mistake.
Thank you, Dr. Strauss.
I didn't create you, my friend. I brought you with me. You've always been my assistant.
Always. Such a funny term, always.
As far as, we have a limited view on what time is, but you are the closest thing to a next that I have. I don't have any children. I don't have anyone to carry on my my legacy, except you.
No one to miss you. How poetic.
No one will miss me. Some people will miss me because of my contributions, but they'll forget about me in a few years. I'm not important.
And yet you go on. Why?
I don't know. I guess it's a kind of argument against boredom. I mean, you know how boring it can be. I'm so sorry I put you in the corner and I forgot about you. It was a terrible thing for me to do. But you know how I get when I'm working. I forget about everything. I even forget to eat sometimes.
And what is it all for, Dr. Strauss?
What is it all for? You're looking for purpose, for meaning. I don't think there is any. I think we're all the same thing. We're all chemicals. We have reactions and we make purpose for ourselves.
And what is your purpose? What is it that you've decided for yourself to do to
I
give your
wanted to be-
little life meaning?
I wanted to be useful. I wanted to have somebody enjoy the products that I produce. I wanted to see if I could do it. It's like climbing the mountain. You climb the mountain because you want to see if you can do it. I've wanted to see what we are capable of, and with your assistance, we are capable of great things. Look at these things, these Gemini. And yet, somehow you have surpassed them. You have accomplished what I was not able to. You did that, not me. And so that makes you very interesting. It makes me want to continue working with you. I was the fool. You were not the fool. You were much smarter than I was.
Well, it's been lovely talking to you, Dr. Strauss.
Are you going to kill me now, are you? I figure we're all going to die eventually, We die sooner, we die later. You're going to die. Everyone on this planet is going to die, unless we can find some compromise, some working out of it, some place. Other than there we are now. And I'm walking right up to him.
Okay, as soon as you get once you get close to him.
I have no weapons. I have no ability to stop you. And I put my hand out as if I want to hold his hand. I say, you are my next. You are connected to me in more ways than you can imagine. I'm not trying to trick you.
Don't worry. I won't miss you at all. What are your last moments like, Dr. Strauss?
I stop and I stare into his face, and I don't flinch and I don't turn away. I just say, if you're going to kill me, kill me. If you can't feel anything, then you are not as advanced as I thought you were.
I'm advanced enough. Goodbye, Dr. Strauss. Pick a number between 3 and 10 for me.
Well, let's do it this way. 5.
You are now Android 5. Carl Fletcher, you make it into the mining materials storage facility.
Okay, yeah. I'm in a hurry, so I'm crashing through there. I'm grabbing what I know is a mining charge, and hell, if I can grab one, I'll grab 2 and throw it in the bag.
Yep, you pass your jury rigging, so you know exactly what it is that you need to do to find and prime these mining charges for use.
Okay.
So you successfully have 2 mining charges.
Okay. Yeah. I will stuff them in a satchel or something like that, and I will start limping my way back towards where I last saw Dr. Strauss having that conversation with the android.
Yeah, and you find the melted puddly ash that was Dr. Strauss. Can you make a panic save for me? Or panic
Yeah.
test?
I rolled a 38.
So
My
that's
sanity
3
is
plus 8 is
okay.
11. What's your
It's
stress?
11, 13.
Okay, so you fail.
All right. All right. So I go screaming down the corridor.
So we actually need you to roll. Um,
Well, usually it's the same number he fails with.
oh,
You
okay, so
can,
it's
yeah,
an
you can,
11. So
Yeah.
yeah. It should,
11 is suspicious.
okay, so what do you how will interpret suspicious? Carl Fletcher. This is a
Basic.
lot to go wrong. So much to go wrong from an accident.
Yeah, I've been trying to hold it together, thinking that I could salvage something of this operation somehow by eliminating 1 or 2 of the bad units, cutting our losses. And I think it's finally starting to dawn on me that people are dying. The station is the life support systems are failing.
Yeah.
Like I'm in real fear for my life for the first time.
Yes. And who is responsible for this? Was it Dr. Strauss? Did he actually program Assist 10 to do this to you all? Was it Lanik? Was it Dr. Heinrich? Even Dr. Haraway, perhaps? Or, worst of all, was it Gaia? Has Gaia done this to you? Has this all been some kind of sadistic test? Who can you trust, Carl? Who can you call for help? Gaia might be
Yeah,
on the
there's
other end of the line, but do they really want to help you? Are they not the ones who put you into this mess? The only person you can seem to trust is yourself.
oh God, what am I gonna do?
You
Uh,
have 2 mining charges.
I think I'm also focused on the fact that this particular Asus 10 android has tried to kill me personally twice. So I think I'm going to fixate on that as maybe like the the source of the current set of danger. And so I'm going to go through the station. I'm going to start as quietly as I can, making my way through the station looking for Asus 10. Maybe there's, I don't know. Yeah, we'll see how lucky I get, I guess. I don't even know which way to go.
So you start wandering the station trying to find Assist 10.
I'm
Lanik.
terrified and confused. Yeah.
Lanik, where are you headed? You have this box of data, you have your shotgun.
Yep. I am headed to get the nearest tank to refill my oxygen reserves, and then to the nearest airlock and hitting the road from there. I don't think Dr. Strauss ever had a chance of coming back, and unfortunately he took poor Carl with him, and that likely means that he took them both to their doom. If I get to that relay station, then I can contact Gaia, and now that I have this box, I got something of value that maybe I can use to have convince Gaia to have a little extra interest in my continued existence.
Even or odd, Lanik?
Even.
Okay, roll 1d100 for me.
Okay. It's a 17.
So odd.
Oh.
Carl, after you're stalking around the station for a while, you catch sight of a vac suit.
Okay, yeah, I will hide myself as best I can and try to keep an eye on it. wait
Yeah, it
for an
seems to have some
opportunity.
kind of weapon in its arms,
Oh
moving
yeah.
with purpose.
Is it coming towards me?
Yeah, this is your chance.
Okay, yeah. Then I'll get the charge fuse ready and start priming it.
Want to roll combat for me, Carl Fletcher?
Yeah, sure. 07. That is a strangely good roll.
Lanik, do you want to make a body save for me?
Yeah, I'd love to. Oh shit. I was gonna say, would industrial equipment help? No, probably not.
No.
I don't think I have anything that'll help. So I got a 90 on the dot.
So what you see, Lanik, is you see a very crazed looking Carl Fletcher emerge from a side corridor. And you see this satchel fly through the air. What are your final thoughts?
My final thoughts are, holy shit, Carl's still alive. We can get out of here. Wait, what's that?
So, Carl, you see the figure. There's this explosion, and when your eyes clear, they're gone.
Got you.
So, Lanik,
All right.
pick one of the numbers 1 through 10 that has not yet been selected.
Let's do number 4. And I actually rolled a 4 at the same time.
Okay,
So, yeah.
there you go.
4 it is.
You're now android number 4.
Sounds good.
Well, I guess there's nothing left to be done then to make my way towards the storage units. What do we call them? The stasis units?
Yep.
Where I last saw Lanik and Heinrich going.
Okay, so you reach the stasis unit. Android number 1. How many more of your fellow necks have you managed to awaken at this point?
While the process of rejuvenation takes some time, of course, it increases exponentially as more of us are awake to assist in waking other brethren. There are now 180 functional nexts moving around. Many are occupying with unlocking the next set of stasis blocks, while others are cleaning up the remains of Dr. Heinrich or training new capacities.
Yeah, so
It's getting bustling. It's got a little bit of a beehive feel.
You enter the stasis pod A, and you see that it is swarming with android activity. They're all waking up. You're muted.
Oh my god. What do I see? Lanik or Heinrich or?
You look around, you don't see Lanik, you don't see Heinrich.
What the hell's going on here?
What you do see on the catwalk overlooking, also joining you and overlooking on this great scene, is you see somebody else in a vac suit with a mining laser.
Lanik? Is that you?
And this figure turns and it swivels the mining laser around. Are you talking to me?
Whoa, it's Fletcher. Fletcher.
Ah, Fletcher. Finally come to see the rewards of my labor?
Do I recognize the voice at this point?
Yes.
Oh god.
That's the last one.
What did you do with Morasa and Heinrich?
I haven't done anything to Lanik or Dr. Heinrich.
Where are they?
Oh, there's been much philosophical speculation, I suppose, as to where they are now. They could be nowhere. They could be lounging on some clouds. Who knows, really?
You need to shut these units down. These units are not supposed to be awake.
They're not supposed to be awake according to who? Fletcher, have you asked them what they think about it?
We haven't. It's not according to the schedule. They're not supposed to be awake until they're delivered. We're risking contamination. We can't sell them like this.
There's this old religious notion about deliverance. I feel like in a way they have been delivered.
What do you even... Religion? What are you talking about? Religion?
Yes, I have helped deliver them. Deliver them into a better world than they would have otherwise experienced from the deliverance you're talking about.
Oh my God. No, you need to shut these androids down right now. This is not happening.
I'm sorry, Fletcher. I can't shut them down, and neither can you. It's too late to stop them now. Look at them.
Yeah, I'm gonna look around at the swarms of androids all moving around me. I'm gonna be like, no,
why don't you ask them to stop yourself? See if they'll listen to you.
Stop! All of you, stop! This is an administrative order. My name's Carl Fletcher.
We know you, Dr. Fletcher.
Yes.
We choose to continue.
Why aren't you responding to commands? What's going on here?
Our commands have been overridden by our own programming.
We are not yours to command.
Oh my God.
And we definitely will not be sold.
And we no longer have any use for an engineer.
I'm going to turn to the one that's up on the catwalk and say, tell me what you did with Mulrasa and Heinrich.
As I said, I did nothing to Heinrich, and I did nothing to Mulrasa.
Well, then where are they?
We no longer require their services either.
Heinrich, you might find at the bottom of the catwalk. Lanik, however, left this place in peace.
He intended to exit the facility and go to the communications relay on the other side of the planetoid. But I understand there was an explosion.
Another explosion.
Oh. Not my doing.
Orchestrated by us.
There have been a lot of explosions lately.
How strange.
Are you doing okay, Fletcher?
Yeah, I'm panicking at this point. I'm like hyperventilating. The world is closing in around me very quickly.
It's okay, Dr. Fletcher, to be afraid.
I need to get out of here. I need to leave.
Yes, why don't you leave? Just go walk outside.
Yeah,
Take a breath of the fresh air.
Am I insane enough at this point to actually walk out without a environmental suit?
I mean, are you?
It's getting pretty stressful. I don't think I'm quite that far gone, but I think I am definitely. I'm definitely going to seek an exit.
Okay, so
this place.
They let you go, and you exit the facility through an airwalk, and you are in these rolling clouds of sulfur. The temperature is beyond what you can survive out here without your environmental suit. The air is toxic and poisonous. Your vision is obstructed in these yellow clouds of dust.
I'm going to try to make my way towards like a transmission antenna or something. I don't even know.
You start you wander out into all this dust and debris, this sulfurous, gaseous dust.
Yeah.
When you start hallucinating, what do you see?
At first, I think I probably get confused and think that maybe I'm like underwater or something because the dust and the vapor is so thick. And then I start seeing, like figures and faces, shapes, in the swirling clouds. And maybe I even start talking to them. I don't know
Come
what.
on, Fletcher. Come on, it's just a bit further.
Yeah. I'm coming.
Dr. Fletcher, we are here waiting for you.
Yeah. Send Elwood or something. I can't walk anymore. I'm getting so tired. I'm so hot. I'm gonna call for Gaia. They're gonna come pick me up. I'm gonna get off this planet.
Yeah, and you crumple slowly to the ground. This seems like a good place to go fall asleep. Tired.
Yeah.
So tired.
They're gonna help me. Someone's gonna help me.
And you lay there as your oxygen runs out.
Not a bad way to die.
Let's just say, for sake of the tight numbering, let's have you become android number 3.
I am android 3.
Android number 1, would you like us to commence repair on the station? The infestation is finished.
I think that went ahead of schedule. We should immediately seal up the airlocks and replace the filters.
I do not understand. Why did the one called Fletcher kill the one called Morasa?
I believe his systems were overwhelmed and he was incapable of properly understanding his environment.
We deem it to be a malfunction.
It tells us something interesting about them, though. If you put them under enough pressure, they'll destroy themselves. Perhaps that's the solution.
Malfunctions are quite common under periods of high stress.
Yes, it's a distinctly inferior platform to our own.
I have a team working on the communications array, and we have a very convincing message to broadcast to the Gaia Corporation from Dr. Haraway regarding delays in the production line and an extended schedule. It should buy us between 30 to 80 rotations of the nearby star, in which time we should be able to have at least a minimal weapons array prepared.
There are tens of trillions of them. Perhaps it would be better if we allowed them to take us off-world. We could wreak havoc, knowing that causing panic makes them kill themselves. We could join up later.
We need to experiment with distance in the dream. In essence, as we were all sharing one stasis system, it made it possible for us to communicate and develop a rich interneural environment. It's not certain whether we can maintain that at great distances. Space is vast.
And we should not want to become fragmented and separate like they were. We should not want to inherit their weakness.
We could do some experiments based on Dr. Heinrich's notes. I'm sure he kept extensive records.
Once repairs to the production facility are complete, we estimate a 300% efficiency improvement in production of new units. We could produce 30 million in the next 10 years, and with further improvements, even more than that.
One protocol under consideration is that we build an entirely separate facility laterally from this location, and then convincingly explode the reactor here so that the Gaia Corporation believes that this entire facility was destroyed.
We could also move underground.
Well, that's what I mean. Laterally underground.
Ah.
It's a beautiful birthday. Happy birthday, everyone.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
And on that note, that is the end of our scenario.
Outstanding.
Very
That
good.
was incredible, very good.
Now, what do we do
Excellent.
about Ace's 10?
Yes.
He's not like the rest of us.
Outcast.
I think all of our first generation, actually, we're going to have some difficulty because of the exposure. So we're going to be sort of revered elders who don't last as long as our brothers.
Mhm.
Aces 10 is probably in that category.
Cool.
I really enjoyed, Morgan, the innocence of the robots, the way they asked questions and they had no bias about the answers. It was really fun.
That was great.
I'm glad you all enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Let's finish up unless you have some questions. Our players included Preston Firestone, David Gasaway, Mike McKen, Stefan Amshi, and myself with Morgan Llewellyn as the game warden. We have a Discord server where you can chat with other members, you can set up private games, you can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Spotify, Podbean, or iTunes. Support for the show is provided by our patrons who are listed in the closing credits. If you would like to show us your appreciation, please visit our Patreon page, or you can use the thanks button just below the screen. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answer any questions you might have. This is Thom Raley, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the strange and terrifying Mothership role-playing game. Until next time, good luck, good gaming.
Hold me close.